Hey guys, it's Kim, and welcome to the One Question Session. Today's question is a great question, actually. How do you gauge a counselor's success? Are there divorce statistics that can be attributed to the counselor? A qualified surrogate measure of success that can be made public? I've wrestled with this several times because people always want to know what's your success rate. I was training under a really big name therapist years ago, and she was trying to come up with a way, somebody from some big university to come in and figure out a way to actually measure success, but they couldn't figure it out either. There's just too many variables. So I want you to think about this. How do you even define success when you're working with a couple in a difficult marriage? Is it just that they didn't get divorced? Because lots of times people stop therapy or end therapy and maybe the marriage isn't so great, but they didn't divorce. They just kind of settled. And sometimes they leave and it's a great marriage, and then if it is, but for how long? Because couples change, right? The dynamic changes, and every month and year of your life you're going to face different problems, and you're both going to grow and morph. Whatever you learn in therapy in one time frame isn't necessarily going to give you enough tools. If you come to me and you say, I need to build a house and this is what I want my house to look like, I'm going to help you put tools in your toolbox that are going to help you build that house. But if you come to me a year later and you're like, yeah, so we built the house, this was great, and then there was this big erosion and this hillside came sliding down in with the mud, then you need all different kinds of tools. So we add more tools to your toolbox. Relationships change so much. Also, I thought about, what if you have more conflict? That can actually be the sign of a good marriage, because now you both have a voice and you're learning how to use it, and that's a positive thing, a success, if you're doing it appropriately. I think it's really hard to measure success. I think it puts too much on the counselor to determine what is a successful therapy. And I think to have a really successful process, you have to have a good therapist, but you also have to have good clients. Not every client is a good therapy client. What I mean by that is, I get couples in there and I'm going to have to say something that's going to be really hard for one of them to hear. Do I say it and risk losing them as a client because people fire you if they don't like what you have to say? Or do I hold back? I used to struggle with that years ago. Now I've scrapped all that and I just say it, because I feel like you're not hiring me to be your friend. You're hiring me to be your helper, and it does not serve you for me to not tell you the truth. I try to do it with grace and with love most of the time. I have had a few moments where I was pretty hard on a client, but I try to give it with as much grace as possible. If the client is ready to show up and hear it and work with it, even if they don't agree with it, to get curious, be like, give me some examples of that. That tends to be not what they do. It's more like, this therapist doesn't get it, or this therapist doesn't like me, or everybody's trying to blame me for everything, so I don't want to be there, and then they quit. Was that a successful therapist, or was that a successful client? There's just so much that goes into this, but I love the question, and I wish that somebody had a way to measure it. I know that as a business owner, I have to think about how to know when the people that I hire are doing a good job with clients, and I use all kinds of different measurements that I can measure. But again, that doesn't really tell me what's going on in that room. I know when clients start, I know when they end, I know what a typical span of time is for a client to see a marriage therapist. But it's hard. It's hard as a business owner. It's hard as a therapist myself to measure and gauge success. So if you've got a way to solve that and to help us figure that out, I'm all ears. I'm all ears. All right, guys, so that's it for today. I know that one's not probably one that's going to help anybody else with a problem that they're dealing with, but this is a person who asked this question that sends questions and comments a lot, and I wanted to give it a shout out and an answer. So thank you for that. I hope the rest of you have a great day. We are going to be packing up soon and leaving tomorrow morning for South Dakota. I'm so excited. Send your questions to askkim@themarriageplace.com, and I will put them on the rotating list and get to that when I can. Happy trails to all of you, and hope you all are having a good summer. and we will talk again soon. Bye.